Hey guys, Nerdcules here, and San Diego Comic-Con 2023 is finally wrapping up. Now, we have one more comic that we're going to look at, and that's this right here, Ewoks One Shot. These are very cool. There's a bunch of these Star Wars books that have been coming out for the 40th anniversary, God, I feel old, of Return of the Jedi. So, let's check this one out right now. Guys, so these Star Wars books have been very cool. There's a handful of them that have been coming out, like this Ewoks one, there's a Lando Calrissian one, a whole bunch that follow along with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So definitely check them out. They're very, very cool. Each of them is just kind of a series of short stories about those specific characters in the world. And so it's really neat because it kind of expands upon the idea of Return of the Jedi and just kind of what was happening there. But of course, you love this Ewoks. You know, it starts exactly like a Star Wars tale should. And then I really love the coloring in this book. It's just really kind of fun. I like how kind of visually we're jumping back and forth with all the different stories in terms of, you know, how it plays out. And I also like with these Ewok stories, there's not a lot of words, right? And I think that that's really fun. I've noticed, especially for my youngest son, stories like this are just really fun when they're really visual. I think it's a really unique thing. You don't see that a whole lot in comics, right? There's a lot of emphasis on the art here, but it's very cool, and it's definitely still telling this story, but telling it in a way that really only fits with Ewoks. I really like this story here. I think it's really cool with the red. It kind of reminds me of the if you saw the Ronin Star Wars anime on I think it's on Netflix. You could check it out, but it's very cool. Very similar kind of vibe, and there's a story out for that and a comic out for that too, that kind of has a similar visual style. But you know, you see some of these, this is pretty dark, right? Like this beast kind of eating this Ewok, and then he realizes, well, it was a dream. But again, I love some of this, just kind of the way that it plays out. You know, we have the playfulness of Ewoks, but then kind of the real threat of what's going on with the Empire, too. And I think that that's really cool. Hopefully you can tell, too, that it's a pretty long book. Like I said, there's not a lot of writing, but it's definitely something nice to kind of pour over, especially with kids, in terms of just kind of story playing out. And that's it. And then there's an ad for Lando 1. But this book in particular, just very, very cool. Like I said, all these Star Wars books are really unique. But this Ewoks one, I would definitely look into picking it up. I think it's going to be I feel like it's kind of ahead of its time in a ways, even though it's celebrating 40 years. But those kind of wordless stories, you don't see a lot, especially with a title as big as Star Wars. And so this is definitely one that I think is going to have some lasting power. And I think any of these kind of 40th anniversary one-shots are definitely going to be something that collectors are going to want to scoop up. But hope you like checking this out. If you just need some more comics, we're going to start doing this every Wednesday when new comic books release. And we're just going to do a rundown of a comic of that week. So definitely check in. But of course, we're going to have tons of other videos on the channel. And until next time, high five, subscribe. Subscribe. Oh, yeah.
Nerdcules.